Well,
No pressure.
welcome to our second video of the conference. As promised, we're doing a little Q&A with myself, Nick, and Ryan here.
Yeah.
Hi.
And I think we probably have already apologized for the Nerd Fitness interview quality, but this one's better. We learned our lesson.
Yeah.
We're using Zoom. Hopefully, it goes over a lot better. But this is super exciting. This is the first time we've ever done any kind of like panel with Ryan. I feel like you and I answer a lot of questions with like live streams and stuff, but it'll be a lot more fun, I think, having Ryan in the room.
I agree.
The virtual room.
And it's much requested. I mean, pretty much every single week when we do Free Journal Friday, everyone's like, "Where's Ryan? Where's Ryan?" So
Yeah.
finally,
I'm around on Fridays, guys. You can just invite me. It's fine.
yeah, maybe we'll have you before the con come on as a little taste.
Okay. Just
Anyways, we pulled from you guys on the Facebook group some questions for us to answer. And I've already read through them once. They're pretty exciting, but we're going to try to keep it as like off the cuff and exciting as possible.
Yeah.
To give as much of a live feel, even though this is recorded. So without further ado, we're going to jump into the first one. What are some of the other tropes you have discussed making? Example, sea, space, Western, etc.
Wow. Great question. So we call them storylines, guys. No, I'm just kidding. We actually used to call them tropes, I think. We decided to name them storylines. We've thought of everything, to be honest. I mean, we have thought of some super out of the box ideas. Some more seriously than others.
I got the list on my phone, actually. Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We had a brainstorming session in Florida. We came up with,
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
with many. We came
Yeah.
up with like 70 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's no shortage of different storylines and thoughts.
Give us some of your favorite ones.
Yeah,
Ryan.
give us some.
All right,
like,
let me
some
just scroll
crazy
through,
ones.
just grab some of these. Sherlock, Tiny Hugh, dinosaurs, apes, ninjas, heavy metal. That was one of our
Yeah.
quarantine quests. Mad Max, horror, lovey dovey,
Mhm.
Chinese New Year, Evil Knievel, Aztecs, Dune, golf, train, portal, optical illusion, everyone's a cat. Alternatively, everyone's a mouse. Elvis.
Elvis. Whose idea was Elvis?
I don't know. Zoolander, like Zoolander, like male models.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Um, Yeah. Yeah, so we had a lot of really good ones on here. 1930s cartoon, ponies, A Bug's Life.
This is amazing.
Man, we had some great
Wow.
stuff on here, guys.
My favorite one are just the one word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's so much
Ninjas.
meaning in the one word.
I just love apes. The idea of apes. Just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what a
This
name
is
for a journal. Apes.
Yeah,
Everyone's
apes.
favorite trope is apes.
apes.
I don't want to spoil. There might be things that are coming down the pipe, but
Right.
you know, those we had a big brainstorming session. Me and Nick and
Yeah.
Kyle and John.
We did.
Yeah. We were very productive.
I'll spill a little bit of beans, and I will dispel the rumor that apes is not the next
Yeah.
trope. I know
People
everyone's
are gonna
talking
go
about
bananas for that one.
it. Hey,
Hey.
that was good.
This question actually piggybacks very well off that question. And this question says, if you could make any theme journal, what you wanted, what would it be? Without having to worry about any copyright issues.
Oh, Kyle, I think this is your question.
Well, mine's Miami Vice. 1000%. I think that'd be
Yeah.
super cool.
80s neon. We've talked about this. I think
Oh,
it'd
yeah.
be awesome. It would
Yeah.
it'd be applicable to like 5 people. But
Yeah.
I think
Mm,
at least we would like it. Right.
exactly. That's all that matters.
I have high hopes of doing a Christopher Nolan an obnoxious time travel journal where there's just kind of like messes with your mind. Like I like the challenge of doing no dialogue, no explanation, a story told in pictures about like time travel or whatever it would be. I don't know. So
Chris
Pretty-
Nolan, I mean, he tends to have sounds louder than dialogue anyway, so it doesn't matter, right? Just make all the pages very blurry, otherwise hard to make out. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. We should have him direct a journal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Why don't we have Yeah, I think in the
Guest
beginning of the journal
directors.
it says created by, but instead of that, we should have it say directed
no
by,
one.
Directed by, yeah.
illustrated, like senior producer,
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Ryan?
stunt coordinator, etc. It's
Me?
all Ryan's name.
We've talked before a little bit. I'd love to do like a Wreck-It Ralph, like video game themed one. Do some just like pixel art and stuff. I think that'd be really cool.
That would be
Yeah,
super.
it's very apropos considering everyone's in a pixelated gather right now.
Yeah, Gather right now. You guys are
Yeah.
are living the dream right now. So
Yeah.
Yeah, we should do like a week-long quarantine quest that takes place in Gather. You know,
No one can leave.
Yeah.
That's what I interpreted when he said that. Should do a week-long quarantine in Gather.
Oh no. That would be pretty intense though. It'd be kind of a lot like how we live right now. But
Yeah, that's fair.
we do Squid Game and Gather.
Ooh, yeah. What about a Squid Game journal?
oh
That's really dark.
Just knock people out of the Gather every day.
yeah, it'd be like Squid Game, Hunger Games, all that stuff. All of those like kind of that survival of the fittest kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Journal.
Yeah.
And then the journal would be like you'd have act 1, which is lead up, act 2, which is like the 5 stages that you have to survive, that you has to survive, and then the last part is like tearing down the infrastructure.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Okay.
Rebelling against. Yeah.
Get
Now
meta
that the
with
good
it.
people have died.
Yeah.
Maybe have a journal where like only one of them is the complete journal and all the other ones like end like at a certain page, right?
Yeah.
And the one winner gets the actual full journal. Some people just get like three pages and it's done.
Yeah.
And they're out.
Someone pays $50 and they get 3
That's the Squid Game, dude.
That's the game. You didn't
That's the
like that?
game. You get a
Yeah.
blank book.
You still get a blank journal. People have been asking for blank journals, so
But I have like 3 or 4 random pages in the front. But,
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, setting the infrastructure.
Your story ends here. All right.
Cool. So someone asked this. They said, first of all, they start off with kind of a compliment, which was just nice. It says, "You is a fun character." And then they did an ellipsis. Who came up with the concept?
It's a good word. Ellipsis.
Oh yeah.
Ellipsis, dot.
I feel like you picked this question because you just wanted to say ellipsis.
No, I genuinely, who did come up with you? I have no idea who came up with you.
The name you or just the character?
The character had to have been all 3 of us because we were all.
Yeah.
But they didn't have a name at first. They was just they
Yeah.
were the character. They were the agendered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't have a name for actually a while. I remember that. Like, I think even after our first Kickstarter, there was no names
Yeah.
Mhm.
for anything. I mean, we had like names for the climbers, I think.
Yeah.
Like the crawlers and
But none of that was in the journal. It was all internally, like how do we discuss it?
yeah, the first index or like whatever we had was in the 2nd edition of Legend of Astoria when we released Wildwood Green.
Yeah.
It was in that printing. And that's where we actually officially minted the name You.
Yeah. I think Ryan came up with you as the tree though, like the U tree, because we were planning on spelling the letter U. I think it's like EU,
Or
is how you spell
YU,
it.
I think.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I was like, why you? Or yeah, I think for a long time, I think we had joked a bit, like you and I had joked about, like, what if the main character name, like, what if their name was literally You, but it was spelled different?
Yeah.
That's almost kind of a joke. And then we kind of kicked the idea around for a while. One thing I will say from the onset of creating You that was really important was trying to be as like, I guess, genderless, kind of markless as possible, which is kind of a continual challenge. Like, I'm curious to hear what it's been like on your side, Ryan, to try and make a character be sort of like, I don't know, hopefully not sway to one side or another as far as like gender is concerned, or what's traditionally seen as like a gender depiction of a character.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a character that anyone can put themselves into. It's a little round-headed, 2 eyes. Everyone can relate to that, right? And so, it can be challenging to show, like, use expressions because they don't have a mouth, they don't have eyebrows. Sometimes they have eyebrows actually when I need them, but I try to draw them. Originally, we had them drawn as kind of like a little shadowy face, almost like how the shadow is drawn. They actually swapped.
That's right.
Hang on, I can share the picture.
Yeah, this will be in the lore floor part of the convention if you haven't already
go
seen
go
it.
look for that. There's one of our first you sketches along with some of our early mentors, and you kind of looks like a Black Knight from Final Fantasy or something, like a little
Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom
That's
Hearts,
right.
Heartless,
That's right.
or like
the Heartless,
or like a Jawa
Yeah.
or something, like two little eyes and a hood, right?
yeah, that's right. Yeah, that
But
was the
we
initial
decided
thought.
that we should reverse that and make it
Yeah,
little
make
little
the
white head,
shadow.
black eyes, make the shadow be obviously,
That's
that
right.
character. So
Yeah, and that was another design choice I think that informed you, was like the shadow needs to be sort of the reverse. They need to look the same, but their colors are completely swapped. And I actually think, like, as we've gone on and as I've seen you, Ryan, design more and more scenes with you in it, it's been fun to see. Like, I think there is a helpfulness to the constraints of drawing. It's such a sort of simple character, like, and having to like depict certain emotions or certain moments. It's like, it can be very challenging sometimes. But like, you've done a really good job, like, managing those constraints. I think it's been a really good, like, what do they say? Like, constraints are good for creativity.
Oh,
And
yeah,
think
I
you has
agree.
kind of been like that. So,
Yeah, the challenge is, it's always about the body language with you, or
it's true.
it makes them easier to draw repeatedly, which I have to do. So
Yeah, my favorite, like, we get a lot of fan art and like colored in pages and stuff like that. And I don't know how you guys feel, but my favorite thing is seeing heroes make you like look like them.
Make you them.
Make
Custom-
you look like
Yeah.
them.
the custom views are great. I have a folder on my computer where I save all the custom views.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it called
So-
the universe?
Oh, the universe.
That's a lot better than, I think it's just called the use. It's got a clever folder.
Yeah, it's a good question.
This is actually a pretty good segue. So the question is, we know how Nick and Kyle met. How did Ryan get involved? And how much of the original concept drawings were given to Ryan and how much came from him directly? Yeah, I'm going to kind of give this one over to you, Ryan. Just kind of give us your perspective on meeting us and how much help we gave you originally on the art, if any, and how you were able to kind of like meet us halfway and ultimately build what is the Hero's Journal.
Sure. Yeah. So I was on a freelancing site called Upwork. It was when I first started doing freelance art as a job. I was kind of brand new to it. And I saw that they posted a job offer. Nick and Kyle did. They needed a nerdy designer. That was the title of the post.
Yeah.
For a planner, kind of a fancy themed planner. And I'd applied for a lot of jobs at that point, like freelance gigs at that point, and I hadn't really gotten much. So I decided to be really extra. And I did a hand-drawn cover letter of like kind of a fantasy map. You can find that as well in the lore floor. It's kind of, it's pretty, it's not my best work looking back, but I think it got their attention. They hired me on, and I drew a lot of concept art at first. There's a lot of back and forth, characters, page layouts, settings and stuff. We were just kind of, I don't think we really had like a really strong plan at the start either, as far as like the settings of the first journal. It was all very much seat of our pants.
Yeah.
There's a lot of back and forth, it was a team effort. I was doing all the drawing, but they were, Nick and Kyle giving me all kinds of creative feedback and stuff. So
yeah, Ryan's being pretty kind. I I think that so one detail that I love about the story, we were actually more so trending towards hiring someone else. We're kind of in the final stages of like interviewing kind of our final candidates, and then we got your cover letter a little bit later, and we were like, immediately, this is the guy, which is pretty exciting. That's why we love that cover letter. But then the reality is, once you were on board, you're totally right. I think we were kind of running around with our heads cut off for, I would say, a good 5, 6, 7 months, long time.
Most of the first journal's time, I think, was
it was just back and forth. And to your credit, and this is why I say you're being kind. Like I think I specifically came back to you with so many revisions, which I think are also in the lore floor, by the way.
Yeah.
Different layouts for the journal, what the story was going to be, what the characters were going to look like, how the page was going to be formulated, like taking things on, leaving them off, coloring page. Like it was so many different revisions. And I think that I was like, I was surprised and still am that you didn't bail on us or quit, because we were pretty difficult to work with.
Yeah,
at
just
the
just for
beginning.
context, I mean, it took us about 9 months to finalize the very first journal,
Yeah.
and that had 5 unique pages. I think the entirety of IMA took 5 months, and that had 90 unique pages.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's
That-
pretty good turnaround. Yeah.
Yeah, that goes to show that we got better at working with Ryan, and you're obviously incredible, because that's a lot of
Oh, yeah.
drawing to do.
But like a lot of that back and forth was Nick was actually taking the preliminary pages to work with him
Yeah.
and filling them out at work and seeing what worked for him at work. And he'd come home and be like, this doesn't work for me. This sucks. And I have to redraw this whole forest scene. Okay, that's fine. Because we have to move this element here now, or we have to take this part out. But
totally doing that.
But now once we had the structure down, we had the kind of the rough, the template we wanted to work with.
I remember I would use the company printer, and I would like print something off and then like kind of hide it, run back to my desk and like secretly be filling it out, because it's such a loud, kind of attention grabbing looking page, especially when you're sitting in like an office. And so I remember just being like very like secretive and like fold the page in half and use it, fold it in half, set it aside. I forgot about that part. I did test drive a lot of the early concepts.
Yeah,
it was fun.
So I'm trying to get through all of the like art related questions first, and then we'll go on to like, I'm trying to like divvy them up into different categories.
Sure.
So I think that this will actually be the last question as far as like process is concerned, and like our origin story and what it's like to actually draw for the Heroes Journal. This question says, art is a very personal thing, so therefore artists can get very possessive about their art. Ryan, what do you think of all the different colored pages? And you can also expand that too if you'd like to other.
Yeah. That's a good question. I have that folder full of fan arts of you, as well as colored pages. I love them. I think they're great. In my head, I have a certain like canon color for things, but like I love seeing interpretations. That's kind of a feature, not a bug of the journal, is that it's black and white. It was originally because of a cost-saving measure, so we don't have to print in color. But then it turned out to be actually something people could color in and put their own spin on it, which I think is incredible. It's awesome. Big fan of everyone's work. I scroll through the heroes' quarters. I lurk. I'm a lurker. You don't know I'm there. Sometimes I hit a little heart. Sometimes I say I like that. Sometimes I'll comment, be like, this is great. Mostly I'm just looking. I'm just lurking. I'm lurking. I'm right click. I'm saving as, and you don't even.
Wow.
Yeah. So no pressure. No pressure.
Yeah, Ryan's always watching everything you're doing all the time. Now, I know this isn't really my thing to comment on. One of my favorite things I've ever seen, I think it was actually Tacey, if I could call someone out specifically. I think it was Tacey, was coloring in their daily pages, almost every day. And in the cave scene in Legend of Astoria, when you is kind of, going through the cave and you see like these like lava pools, magma, like rivers and stuff like that. Like the first couple days in that scene, I think she had colored it, the color of lava, like, and then like the last couple days, she colored like this bright green, like it was slime or like sludge from like a Batman movie or something like that. Cool. And it looked so cool. She was like super proud of it. She showed me, and I just remember thinking like, it's so cool, like to just, I don't know, even though it did start as a cost-saving measure, like you said, to give someone a kind of a canvas and just let their imagination like make it their own. So it's a really special thing to see people doing that with the journal. It's one of the kind of unforeseen benefits, I think, of just giving people something in black and white.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have another. This is for like aspiring artists out there who are working. I wouldn't say we're necessarily corporate, but in a more corporate environment. How do you balance like when we have other vendors who are using your art for things like advertising, or we worked with like a box designer? Mm-hmm. How do you manage that level of like maybe possessiveness over art, but while still letting things kind of get done at the same time?
That's a good question. We just recently had boxes designed for our upcoming printing of journals, and Nick and Kyle could tell you I was a little persnickety. I had some bugaboos. Things like how far apart Yu's the castle of I am made. No, that's not how the spires look. You're supposed to have this at the top, not that. Being very, very picky about it. But I tried to be as cooperative as possible. I try to, we're all on the same team. We're all trying to make a nice product, right? I'm not trying to squash anyone's artistic. And the boxes turned out amazing, by the way. I'm amazed by them. I provided the line art, and our designer just would hog on them and look amazing. I think you're going to be really happy with them when they come out. But yeah, I think I've been learning to let go a little bit, learning to kind of let people take it, like with fan art, it's a different thing. With people color the journals, that's for them. That's amazing. That's fun, But like if it's something that's going to be presented out in the world as like a box or an advertisement or whatever, I want it to reflect what we have inside the journal, right?
Yeah.
So that's just where that comes from.
I think you do a really good job of being just like kind of protective enough, mama bear enough, but also like giving, other designers or other people that might, design stuff for us, like enough freedom to work. But I think it's actually a helpful constraint. Like, going forward, like let's say the team grows or like we have to make a lot more art one day. It's like, I'm really confident in your ability, if we ever had to bring another artist on or whatever, to like give them enough room to let them be themselves, but also be like, these are also kind of like, this is the way you look. This is the way this world is. Like, don't go too crazy with it. Show me what you have. But I don't know. I think you do a really good job of that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I do too. Cool. So this next stage of questions is just going to be get to know Nick, Kyle, and Ryan. This is just going to be a little get to know you section. We're not going to talk about the Heroes Journal specifically, just for a little bit. First one is, what was your favorite book as a kid? Mine was Mr. Popper's Penguins. I loved that book.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Big fan.
That's great.
It's good. That's how young we're going. I was in elementary school. I was a huge Goosebumps head. I had all the Goosebumps books.
Yeah.
Stein. Every month a new one would come out. My friends and I would try to be the first one to finish it. And a lot of them are really bad in retrospect, but I absolutely loved them. I think I like the covers more than anything. The actual stories are pretty boring all the time, but or kind of silly. But the art on the covers.
Yeah. The art on the covers was actually fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't think it was R.L. Stein who did the art, unless it was.
No, it was an artist.
that artist is underrated. Or not, or like underappreciated rather. I think for me, actually this is a little sad because I believe the author just died, which is maybe what reminded me of it. But Hatchet by Gary Paulson.
Gary
Paulson. Read that book?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he just passed away, which is sad. But yeah, that was one of the books I remember reading early on, and it was like one of the first times I really was like fell in love with a story that was in a book. And I kind of connected the dots. I was like, oh, I can see why people read. I grew up watching a lot of movies, and I was like, I was like, I'll just watch a movie. But it was the first time I saw the benefits of the pacing and slowly kind of, the pace of reading and falling in love with the character and a story. So it's a great book.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, the next question is, what was your favorite class in school growing up? What do you look forward to the most?
Me first.
I'm just looking at you. Ryan can go first.
Yeah, I mean, I was terrible at school. It really, really was. I didn't like any of them. Probably PE or or English. As I got a little bit older, English was a little more tolerable for me. But I was not a good student. I was not good at school. I wish I was, but I just never got it.
Yeah. Art class for me, obviously.
Yeah.
Elementary school once a week. It might surprise you, I didn't actually take too many art classes through middle school and high school. I only had a painting class and a pottery class the entire time.
Really?
I was a band kid. I was in the band. And then high school, I was in the marching band. I took up all my electives.
You were in the marching band? I didn't know that. What did you play?
I played trumpet at first, and then they needed more sousaphones. So I switched to that. So I went from doing this little guy to like this big old, shoulder destroying instrument that you get to wear.
Yeah.
But
That's really cool. I was in the marching band for a little bit.
Yeah, what'd you play?
I played drums. I was one of the
drumline kids were the coolest, man.
One of the cool kids.
Were you?
Yeah.
I played what's called the tenors. It's like the
four of them.
Yeah, the four of them. It's like a rack of drums.
Oh.
And then I played the bass drum too for another year.
Only reason I know anything about marching bands and drums specifically is because of Nick Cannon and Drumline.
Drumline, yeah.
That movie's so good.
That did a lot for the drum community.
I bet. It put your people forward, you know. So.
It did, yeah.
Well, you probably liked band class. Did you see it? You had a band class, right?
Yeah. It was fun. I mean, it was a lot of work. People don't realize how much work, especially marching band is.
Right.
Because band, it's like, oh, band kids are nerds and stuff like that, but they work just as much and maybe just as hard as a lot of the like athletes or other, because especially like drumline, like you would have marching band practice and then you'd have drumline practice. You'd be at the school till like 6 p.m. just playing music. So yeah, it was a lot of work, but it was fun.
It's fun. Yeah.
What about you? What was your favorite?
Math and history. I really liked math. I liked easy math, like algebra 2. I was like, I would do it for fun. I would go home and I would just get like 4 lessons ahead because I thought it was so fun.
What a nerd.
Right. Yeah. And then I got to the higher stuff and I was like, this isn't for me.
Sometimes I'll just see an equation on the whiteboard and just finish it.
Yeah. I reenact Good Will Hunting.
Right.
Cool. And then, so that's kind of some like context. There's not a ton of context questions in here, but I just wanted to kind of everyone to get to know us a little better, kind of know where our brains come from. Because, I was the only one who said math. So
yeah, mine's PE and drums.
hence operations. But here's kind of a fun hypothetical question. Jeff Bezos wants to give you $2 million for your company, but you have to walk away completely. Would you take the money or keep the potential he obviously sees in the company?
Keep the potential he obviously sees in the.
Yeah. So you stay. So you
be staying.
You stay or you go. But if you go, you get 2 million. If you stay, all you have is the potential that he sees.
Okay. And the company.
And the company.
Okay.
Ryan, let's start with you.
I don't trust Jeff Bezos and his bald little head. He eats iguanas. He's a monster. I don't want anything to do with him. I'd say no, Jeff. No. Go suck eggs, Jeff. You Lex Luthor.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Ryan loves Amazon.
Yeah. I mean, the problem with this question, you and I don't know a lot about like the mergers and acquisition world. We know a little bit, but I think I know enough to know. I don't think if Jeff Bezos was interested in buying our company, it would be very suspicious.
Yeah.
It would almost certainly be predatory. It'd probably not good for our product. I mean, I guess it would maybe get us a lot of like buzz for a little bit. It'd be like, oh, why is this, why is the richest man in the world buying this, journal company? But I mean, it doesn't really line up for me. It'd be very suspicious. And I don't think it would benefit us very much.
I'm just saying $2 million is a lot of money. It is.
But do you want to give Jeff the satisfaction? I don't think so.
I don't. If it was somebody else, I would consider it probably more.
Maybe.
Right.
Yeah. He's already got enough stuff. He's got a rocket. He doesn't need a journal company.
True.
But Ryan, we could be in every Whole Foods in the nation.
Yeah, every single Whole Foods.
That's my dream. So
yeah, it's like at checkout, it's there. It's like, hey, would you want to donate to, child poverty or want to become the hero of your story? That's what I have to ask everyone as they check out. They're like, what? These are very different questions.
Jeff made me say that. Please help.
Yeah. Blink twice.
Why does he say these?
The second I saw that question, I was like, this is gonna get a little bit it's a little spicy.
Yeah.
But hey, we love the spice here.
Sounds like the answer is suck eggs, Jeff.
Yeah. Seems like
my answer. Yeah.
Here's a lore question for you. I think it's a lore question. Where did the castle mice come from?
So that's a Ryan question.
Castle mice came from a need to fill space on a page. When we moved into IMA, Story Magic Academy, we decided to make it so that every page changes, like a magic wizard photo or something. But as a result, in the previous version of the journal, you would be in there 3 or 4 times. to fill the entire space of the page. But now we're in a situation where U is just in one spot. And there's going to be all this extra stuff that needs filling. And the mice were a good way initially to fill that extra space and create interest on both halves of the scene, basically.
Yeah. That's actually a really good point, because when we decided to make the jump from, just repetitive pages to every single daily page is going to be different, we thought about some key ideas. One of them being, in like your keyframes, if you want to call them that. It's all about your main character, right? So it's all about you's kind of experience and perception of what's going on. But to your point, Ryan, that doesn't cover the entire scene. Like, you don't get all that. So you kind of have to have something going on in the background all the time. And this plays out really well in like the LOI relaunch as well. But yeah, the Castle Mice were a really clever way to do that. And I think as we were developing it, the whole team, as like Ryan was showing us more and more scenes that he was creating, like we fell more and more in love with it. And then I think we made the decision, or Ryan made the decision to do a little frog, big world kind of a sequence where the Castle Mice become actually like some very important characters. So I love that. I love that that's kind of hidden in plain sight for a little bit. And you're like, what are these little mice doing? And then they kind of save the day a little bit in a way. I really like that touch.
Now let's get creative. This isn't canon, but like, where are they from? Like, are they just like, have they been in the castle for years? Are they from a long lineage of what's the famous mouse book? Like something it's like the mouse with the sword.
Redwall?
Oh, Redwall.
Yeah.
Redwall.
There's one with like a French name.
Ratatouille.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I'm blanking on the name. There's a lot of famous mouse books.
It's true.
There's Ralph the Motorcycle Mouse. There's Stuart Little.
That's right, Ralph the Motorcycle Mouse.
The Tale of Despero.
Despero, that's right.
That's right.
He's got the big hat and everything, right?
Yeah,
of course.
Right.
I read that in 5th grade. Anyways.
Yeah, Ryan.
That's another books I like as a kid. Those are books I like as a kid. Redwall books. I read a ton of those Redwall books. Huge fan. Little Mice, Big Castles.
Gotta love it. Do you think subconsciously that's where the Castle Mice came from? Was your love for the Redwall books?
The Redwall, they're a bit more. They're like little people, right? They're anthropomorphized. They have clothes. They have they have their own bakery, baking. They have like little people. Whereas the mice are very much mice in the journal. I feel like maybe a little smarter than regular mice.
Well, we don't know that. We don't get this. We don't get the deep dive into.
Well, they're magical. They're magical
insights.
They're mischief makers, though. They're a lot smarter than real mice. They have a bit more personality, I feel like.
I do like the idea that they are kind of these guardians of the castle, but like in the most miniature way.
Yeah.
It's like they deal with they're kind of pests a little bit, but they do enough good to justify them being around.
Yeah, like people know they're there and they let them stay there.
Well, I almost think that like when they built Magic Academy, they like put them there. It's like a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy situation.
Oh yeah, there you go. Other famous book mice. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my best answer.
That was fun. Cool. This is a statement / question. It's not 100% correct, so I'm going to change it a little bit. Nick likes Tortoise. Kyle likes Twig, which I've changed to Snappy. Snappy is my new favorite.
Whoa.
For the world. I'm declaring that for the world to hear. Big deal.
Wow.
Ryan, which is your favorite character / which is your favorite to draw?
Favorite to draw? That's tough. Man. I was going to say Snappy too. She's really fun. I see. Kyle's a man of culture. He understands. Snappy.
Snappy's cool. Snappy is very emotive,
Yeah, I think that's why she's fun to draw. I mean, it's kind of a cop-out answer, but the one I've drawn the most is the Mentor and Quota and all those comics with them. I really got I really like drawing them. It's like it feels good to draw those two. I got kind of like the muscle memory down of that. They can also be very expressive. I think that's why I like them. I'm not going to spoil anything in the journal we're working on right now. There's a character that maybe surpasses them. It's more fun to draw.
Wow.
For me personally. But by the end of IMA, I like drawing all the IMA kids. It's hard to pick a favorite. They're like your own little babies, I love drawing climbers. I love drawing, you know, I love drawing the shadow in all his weird amorphous forms. I love drawing Vulgar the dragon. The mice are great fun to draw. They can go anywhere. So I don't know. It's a cop-out answer, but they're all my favorites.
Well, I will say one of the best things about, especially as we've gotten better at making journals, it really actually comes through, I think, when you particularly, Ryan, are having fun drawing stuff. It's like, I'm not an artist. I don't understand a lot of the technical things that you do behind the scenes. Like I kind of can appreciate things on like a somewhat surface level, but what I can always recognize is like sequences or characters that you're drawing where I'm like, Ryan had a lot of fun making this, and it kind of like comes through on the other end. Those are my favorite things to get from you. So I think that's always a litmus test. It's like, is Ryan having fun? Yes. Good. No, let's fix it.
Yeah.
It's an important thing. So, yeah.
Speaking of characters you like to draw, will a book featuring the mentor's wisdom be made?
You want to take this one, or
I think that we want to do something along those lines at some point in the future. There's no like dead set plans. Honestly, one of my favorite things about like I think people are referring to the letter from the mentor.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, Ryan, I think your comics are my favorite part of all of that. Like the musings and the ponderous thought is fun, but I think that the little comics and getting a little bit of a taste into like the side world that's taking place in the journal, with the wizard and Quota doing all of their antics. So personally, I would love to see like a comic book more than like a fanciful musings of the mentor. But
yeah, I mean, obviously, it'd be really cool to have like a letter from the mentor book. I always imagine it like a coffee table book. Like it's really big and you can kind of open it to any page, read like something encouraging, see a comic, and then shut it, put it back on the coffee table. I think that would be really cool. I think we've sort of not changed, but maybe evolved the role of the mentor a little bit, and maybe even the lore of the mentor a little bit more. And I'm not sure if we've like landed in a place, because I think part of me thinks just making the letter from the mentor book makes it a little more of like a just kind of a static character. It's kind of like, oh, we just get kind of our like, you know, sort of our life advice, our proverbs from the mentor, and then we kind of move on. But part of me thinks the mentor is like has a much bigger part to play in our brand than just kind of representing a coffee table book. So I'll leave it at that. But I mean, you know, don't be surprised if we make that book.
Yeah, Ryan, what would you dream of that particular project?
Yeah.
It's a good question. I mean, the coffee table book would be very cool. It was fun drawing those comics. It was a challenge at times, but I think they all turned out, you know, decent enough to put in a book alongside a deep, thought out letter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think the mentor is a cool character that we should, you know, we've been kind of leaning into with every journal. There's a mentor every time.
That's true.
Maybe like to see expanded on that. Maybe some of the mentors from the other stories we've worked on, you know, get the IMA mailman mentor, you know, get some stuff from him, you know.
You know, I think we've been kicking around this idea. This is probably some big beans that I'm spilling, but I don't know if we've ever had a conversation about it, Ryan, but about a month or so ago, we were thinking through, you know, what's going to help heroes get through the journal. We were thinking through our company values, and we kind of thought about it in a way that was a little more interesting than just like thinking of some mission statement, but we thought about it through the lens of the character of the mentor, and kind of thought about, you know, the mentor as a concept. It's like this mentor's whole mission, like their quest, is to just help heroes go out on quests and, you know, experience life change in the hero's journey and all that stuff. And that's kind of like, okay, that's kind of our job as like a company. It's like we make these journals, we make them the best that we possibly can. We send them out to as many people as we can, and we kind of watch their quests like go and experience the growth with them and celebrate them and all that stuff. I think part of the lore that I'd be really interested in is kind of like thinking through, we have these storylines that you could arguably say it's kind of like a metaverse of sorts, different, like, you know, I'm not trying to say whatever it is, but I do think that each of those storylines do have like a different mentor. So I like to think there's like a citadel of mentors. They all just hang out,
Yeah.
and they're all looking for heroes to help.
Yeah.
It's like their entire goal. Their entire life quest is to go help heroes who aren't heroes yet. They don't know they're heroes yet, but like help them on their way, their call to adventure, kind of drop into their world and help the lost youths become heroes. I think that's kind of a fun lore. So anyway, maybe the Letter from the Mentor book, like it's like there's a different mentor every page. It's like mentor 615525, and that mentor has an eye patch.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just one of the thoughts. It's kind of stealing from like Rick and Morty and the whole multiverse craze right now, but I feel like that's a fun character concept.
I think so too.
Not canon, but
It's not canon.
you thought about it.
Yeah. Every one of those ideas we talked about. Ape mentor coming soon.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, give banana.
Cool. Someone asked what our favorite memory from the con season was, and Ryan, you only joined us at one of the cons, but I would say that was probably the best con. So we could probably share our favorite memory from Orlando. I think that makes the most sense for this particular scenario.
Yeah.
What would you say was the best part about MegaCon, Orlando, the team retreat, all that stuff?
I mean, meeting you guys for the first time, of course, was cool. I think I knew I already knew we got along really well. I already knew we already had a good rapport. But I think that first night we went to Disney Springs and we ate in a diving pod.
Yeah.
I was like, these guys are cool. They get it, Nick made a point of asking to sit in the diving pod. They're going to sit us outside. We went to this restaurant, this bar that had this life-size like submersible and a table in it. They're going to seat us outside. And Nick's like, excuse me, can we eat the diving pod? And I was like,
I think we have a picture. We should post. We're going to post the picture on this video. We have to.
Yeah.
No, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, it's pretty insane that we worked remotely with you for like I guess like 2.5 years probably until we actually met you. I mean, there's a pandemic sprinkled in there somewhere, but it's pretty wild that it took that long for us to meet in person. So anyway, that was a huge benefit of the con. MegaCon as just a whole though was so wild. It was by far the biggest con that we had ever been to. And gosh, I don't even know if I can pick a memory from it. But one thing I will say, we had a hero from the Heroes Quarters come out, Kiara, and without us asking her or like any kind of request, she just kind of sat down, was very like friendly, and just like helped us run our booth without like expecting any I just kind of thought she would come by, say hi, and like kind of go about like whatever. But like she came every day and just hung out at our booth. And it was like very humbling and really exciting to me to like know that there's people out there that would just drop in just to help work. And like sell the journal in their own way, like in a way that Kyle and I or even Ryan probably never could. It was really special.
Special shout out to Casey as well, who did that in DC.
Yeah. I mean, we say this all the time. There wasn't a con, and there may not even be a day of a con where we didn't get visited by one of the heroes from the Heroes Quarters.
Yeah.
During like the con season that Kyle and I had. So pretty cool. Also, a little spoiler: we might be going to Emerald City Comic Con this year. That's in Seattle. So if you're around here, it's a big con. You should come say hi. Anyway.
Yeah.
What about you?
Oh, it's TGI Fridays by far. Not even close.
Which time? We went there multiple times.
Exactly.
Both times.
Yeah.
That was a mess.
I can't decide between buying $25 worth of fudge and leaving it in the hotel room and then never eating any. I didn't eat any of it, right? Remember we went to
that chocolate factory. Yeah, you and I we had our mandate. We went to the burger sushi place. We went to the chocolate factory.
Yeah. And I actually the burger sushi was really good too.
Oh, that's right. You guys
Yeah.
We went to Margaritaville.
Yeah, Margaritaville was fun.
Oh yeah, our friend at Margaritaville who got us a table like 3 hours early.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
I felt like we did something illegal to get that table, but we didn't. But it felt illegal the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, I think we made up for it like waiting karma wise, waiting for Super Saiyan.
That's fair.
So
That's
I think it balanced out.
Super Saiyan was pretty crazy. I never waited that long in a strip mall parking lot for anything.
you haven't lived.
Now you've had Dragon Ball Z noodles and
So true.
worth it.
Yeah, it was worth it. That was fun.
Cool. Well, I have the last question for us here.
Ooh,
And
okay.
it's funny because it's actually a really good segue. So to the next part. But the question is, what is in store for us heroes next? Very broad.
For us heroes, meaning
Like, what's the Heroes Journal going to
yeah,
bring next?
okay,
What are we going to do next?
well, we are going to announce what Bubbles is
Later today.
later today at this con. We will also be doing pre-orders for Legend of Astoria in 10 days from the time of watching this on November 8th. Super excited about that. Putting new boxes into the world, putting like a revised product into the world. It's like it might be kind of spicy. I think the journal is finally at a place. It's like, and I'm not trying to talk bad about our previous things we put out, but I think that this journal truly is like what I always kind of imagined the journal could be. If not very close to that, like final product. Every page is different. I think the intro content is like great. It's actually been proofread this time. Like there's a pocket in the back. We have a leather version of it. It's like a lot of like dreams have come true through this journal. And so I don't want to just skim past like the Legend of Astoria release because it's a huge deal.
Yeah.
And really it's a journal we've been working on for like 3 years, kind of on and off. So, but I mean, yeah, beyond that, who knows?
Well, I can tell you what's immediately next is Ryan's going to teach us how to draw you.
That's
See,
right.
Yeah.
that's a good segue.
Oh, I see
Yeah,
what
yeah,
you're
yeah.
trying to do.
Master
Ryan,
of
did you-
transitions here.
Yeah,
even
Ryan,
after
did
that
you want
is
to give
free
an
time.
answer to what's next for the Heroes Journal without
All
giving
those
away
things
too
you
much?
just said. I mean, yeah, I think the new LOI is really cool. I feel like we've been not hyping it up as much as we should. I think it's amazing. I think it's
I know.
it's like there's brand new scenes. It's the journal everyone's familiar with already, pretty much. Same
Yeah.
characters, new situations, things change all the time. It's got a really cool finale page I'm really happy with. There's a lot going on. A lot of really cool stuff. It's at the same level as IMA. It maybe exceeds it in some ways, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think it exceeds IMA. I can confidently say that.
I love
We're gonna
IMA, but no.
At some point during this con today, we're going to do a full walkthrough of LOI. So
Yeah.
whether it's already happened or it's happening in the future,
I think it may have already happened, but anyway,
we'll all know that it's so great. So
yeah, we should hype it up a little more.
yeah, I think we're actually waiting for today to start hyping it up a lot.
That's fair.
That's good. Yeah. And of course, Bubbles, of course, is my current big project, and I could not be more excited for that to come out.
It's true.
Ooh.
Can't wait for those games to spill.
Yeah,
Bubbles will be finally revealed in about 3 hours.
it's a big deal. It's a
You
real,
get to see-
really big announcement.
Get to see Ryan's baby that he's had to shelve a couple times for other projects.
Ooh,
It's true. Wow, these are some big beats.
these are big beats.
Well,
I need to edit some of
yeah.
this.
Really? Did I get anything away there?
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe not.
Maybe
Who
not.
knows?
We'll see.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much, Ryan, for coming on and answering some questions. And
Yeah.
we're always super grateful that we have a community of people that ask us questions and that care about what we're doing enough to come to a con on a Saturday, the day before Halloween, and spend time with us virtually as little 64-bit characters. So, or are they 16-bit?
64 would be like
16-bit.
N64 quality models.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
16-bit characters. But yeah, that is the end of the Q&A.